Well, yes, of course, and it is a significant issue for a number of reasons. So American Riviera Orchard, which of course is Meghan's lifestyle brand, she's run afoul of the US Patent Office because they say she can't trademark American Riviera, because that is actually a well-known term for Santa Barbara County, which is this glorious stretch of California, full of beautiful towns and some very rich people.
Meghan Markle's latest business endeavor is stirring up quite the debate, leaving opinions divided. On the one hand, there's a wave of admiration for the Duchess of Sussex, with many applauding her for championing what seems to be an ethical and empowering approach to business. As an investor in Sesta Collective, Meghan has aligned herself with a brand that specializes in beautifully crafted, hand-woven basket bags created by a collective of skilled women artisans in Rwanda and finished in Italy. To some, this is exactly the kind of socially conscious venture that reflects Meghan's well-known advocacy for women's empowerment and sustainable fashion. But, unsurprisingly, not everyone is on board. Critics have been quick to pounce, accusing the Duchess of exploiting poverty for profit. Detractors argue that while the cause may seem noble on the surface, Meghan's association with a luxury brand that capitalizes on the labor of women in a developing country has raised more than a few eyebrows. Some skeptics are questioning whether this venture truly uplifts the artisans involved, or if it's just another case of high-end fashion using a feel-good narrative to justify sky-high price tags. Just days after facing a trademark hiccup, the Duchess of Sussex now finds herself at odds with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, once again, this time over her brand's logo.
There are a number of things here, and we'll talk about them, that strike me as some errors in pretty basic blocking and tackling as far as this application that was submitted, I believe, back in March. One of them, the most obvious one being the lack of a signature where there needed to be a signature. I mean, come on, this is really basic stuff. But there's some other things that are sort of nuanced, and that's what we can talk about a little bit. But as I said, it's kind of unfortunate that this happened. From Meghan's perspective, I would say, not only because this is a setback, you do not want stuff like this to happen because it's an enormous distraction.
According to insiders, the USPTO flagged the logo, zeroing in on the infamous O in the brand's emblem. Their gripe? The description of the design doesn't quite match what's on paper. Descriptions must be accurate and identify only those literal and design elements appearing in the mark, the official document scolds, as cited by the Daily Mail. Ouch! It seems the O is either so stylized it's barely recognizable, or simply doesn't look like an O at all. To make matters worse, the USPTO pointed out that the brand's description was incomplete, failing to mention all of the visual elements in the logo. Double ouch. However, it's not all doom and gloom. There's a lifeline if Markle decides to heed the USPTO's advice and tweak her logo description. But people can't help but wonder, is this just another bump in the road for Meghan's post-royal business dreams, or are we witnessing a trend of hiccups in her pursuit of an American empire? Before this latest trademark drama, Markle encountered yet another setback with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO. The office had previously rejected her application due to a strict rule. Businesses cannot trademark names that reference geographic locations.
Significant amount of time, I was able to pick out an A, I was able to pick out an R, but I do agree with this examiner who said, I don't see an O in this logo anywhere, which I agree with 100%. I cannot find an O in there. And as for the HRH, I don't know. It could be there, it could not be there, I don't know.
Unfortunately for Meghan, this meant that the charming nickname American Riviera, used to describe the stunning Montecito area where she and Prince Harry now reside, was off the table. Rumor has it, per sources spilling to Express UK, that the rejection threw Markle's team into a bit of a frenzy. Insiders say they're now urgently brainstorming new ideas. One source even hinted that they might take a page from Kim Kardashian's playbook, referencing how the reality star successfully rebranded her shapewear line from kimono to Skims after facing backlash. The team is already lining up backup plans, just in case, the insider revealed. They found themselves in a bit of a last-minute scramble, but sources say there's no serious panic just yet. After all, they're well aware that Kim Kardashian faced a similar issue when she had to rename her shapewear line post-launch, and we all know how that turned out. Skims became a global sensation, so while Meghan's team may be feeling the pressure, they're not hitting the panic button, a source dished. The insider continued, yes, it would be a pretty expensive fix if they're forced to rebrand at this late stage, especially after all the investment in marketing and branding so far, but it won't be the end of the world. They've got options, and they're not backing down. Markle first introduced her much-anticipated American Riviera Orchard brand back in March, with plans to offer a curated selection of artisanal goodies. Think delicious jellies, jams, and spreads, along with beautifully crafted tableware like cutlery, linens, and drinkware. In true Meghan fashion, she gave fans a sneak peek of the brand's vibe in April by rolling out the first product. Charming rustic jars of fresh homemade jam. Naturally, this little teaser had everyone buzzing about what else was in store. This revelation marked a shift in how Meghan Markle selects her outfits, as she explained in an interview with the New York Times, published on August 29. When I know there's going to be a global spotlight, with every detail of what I may or may not be wearing scrutinized, I make it a point to support designers I have strong friendships with, as well as smaller, up-and-coming brands that deserve more attention, Meghan shared. Her thoughtful approach reflects a deeper intent behind her fashion choices, showcasing her commitment to elevating underrepresented talent. While Meghan's financial backing certainly makes a difference, Sesta Collective's co-founder Courtney admitted that it's Meghan's belief in the brand that means the most. Her trust in us is incredibly validating, Courtney reportedly said, emphasizing the power of having such a high-profile figure in their corner. It's a gesture that goes beyond monetary support, offering the kind of exposure small businesses dream of. Courtney and her co-founder Aaron, the only full-time employees of the brand, have worked tirelessly to build Sesta into what it is today, an artisanal handbag company with an annual revenue of around $1 million. Their bags, which are priced in the hundreds of dollars, are painstakingly crafted in small batches, typically producing 25 to 50 units at a time. This hands-on boutique approach is part of what makes the brand so unique, and with Meghan's spotlight, the demand for these exclusive pieces is bound to soar. In a video that has since garnered nearly 87,000 views, TikToker Georgie passionately voiced her concerns, exclaiming, "I thought we had collectively agreed that Western women using African women as props to enhance their image was inappropriate, but apparently we haven't." Georgie's remarks were directed at an image from the Times article, which had stirred quite the conversation. The photograph in question depicted a group of women seated outdoors in what appeared to be a rural, serene setting. However, the contrast in positioning is what caught the viewer's attention. In the foreground, a group of Rwandan craftswomen dressed in traditional attire sat on the ground, while Sesta Collective's co-founders, Courtney and Aaron, were seated on a bench in the background. This image, with its stark juxtaposition, quickly ignited discussions about representation and power dynamics, raising questions about the optics of the relationship between Western entrepreneurs and the local artisans they often partner with. For some, it symbolized an uncomfortable imbalance, where the women who contribute so much to the craftsmanship were seemingly relegated to the background, both literally and figuratively. The video's popularity underscores the sensitivity surrounding these kinds of collaborations, especially when cultural and economic divides are so visibly displayed. Critics were quick to accuse her of exploiting poverty, with one commenter stating bluntly, "It's inappropriate to use these women as a marketing tactic for your brand, especially when they're not full-time employees, nor do they hold any ownership in your company." The sentiment reflected a growing frustration with brands that use marginalized communities to enhance their image without giving those communities any real stake in the success they help create. "This isn't a charity. You're not saving these women," they added, further intensifying the critique. Georgie, in her viral TikTok, did not mince words either. "These women should not be used cynically to make shopaholic Western women feel better for purchasing yet another handbag they don't need," she concluded sharply. "That's what we call poverty porn, and it's barely okay when charities do it. It's completely inappropriate when full-profit businesses do it. cut it out. Her commentary struck a chord, raising the stakes of the conversation from a simple critique to a broader indictment of exploitative marketing practices. Now, with this latest setback, the question remains, will Meghan pull off a Kardashian-style rebrand and come out on top? Share your predictions and thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want more hot gossip, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for all the latest updates.